Hey Geeks, Barry here, and we continue our 30-day world building challenge on this episode. We're back with doing some more of the world building challenge, the 30-day world building challenge, and today is day 5. This one's actually going to be, now that I'm getting kind of into it and starting it, I think this is actually going to be a 2-day challenge slash project, because one part of it is actually making the map for the world. And I don't have any digital tools right now, and so it's all going to be hand-drawn, and there's my skills aren't great, but they're not exactly, I would say, new-ish. So anyways, it's going to have to be a hand-drawn map, and I'm going to try my hand at a lot of skills and techniques that I've picked up from around the internet. So I think today we'll just kind of get some of the outlines, some of the major geographical locations and landmarks down, and then pick it up again tomorrow to kind of finish the map out. Now, I fully anticipate and realize that this is only going to be a rough first version of the map. Later on, as I develop this world more and polish it up, I will probably go in and polish up the map too. Again, with this being an exploratory campaign, I really see myself exploding the map, so to say, whereas right now I just have 8.5 by 11. If I start working on it in Photoshop or GIMP, I will be able to like explode it to where, you know, a small section of the landmass is on an 8.5 by 11 sheet, so you can really start digging into some of the geological and geographical features of an area or a region, so to say. That way you can get both kind of like major areas as well as minor, maybe minor areas and so forth with that plan. So that's one half of today's challenge. The other half is from the 30-day challenge from Absolute Tabletop, with the question of what event has altered the history of your world. For me, I'm taking that as what most authors and writers would call the inciting event, or the event that is starting off the campaign, starting off this whole story, and why we as players or readers or viewers or whatever should care and get involved. And for me, I'm going to dig into building on those elder dragons that I talked about yesterday, in that one of these elder dragons have finally been seen and witnessed. It's either moving through or it's migrating, but the fact that there's actual eyewitness accounts and it's moving to a certain place, the hunters and people are following it to get more information, because in my mind, I definitely think that it came across the old continent, or was part of the old continent, woke up, so to say, in the old continent, probably slew a path of destruction on its way across the continent, and this has caused a lot of kingdoms, guilds, and other people in interested party to go after it. I don't think it's necessarily to go after it to kill it, because I was having this thought about these elder dragons that I think I know that the moment you present these to your players or to a player group, they're immediately going to try and want to kill it. And I had that thought earlier today, and I just kind of realized that I think a lot of them, one, will either be asleep dormant somewhere hidden, or two, if they are awake and active, They're kind of almost like the kaiju from Godzilla or the Tarrasque from D&D. They are basically unkillable, unstoppable. They are forces of nature, so to say, and that's why yesterday a lot of the geological landmarks and geological events are tied to them, is because they basically are forces of nature. So I think that's going to be the inciting incident, or at least what gets people to cross the ocean to this new continent, because this new continent, they've been able to track it. I don't know how. We can discover or figure that out later. Have tracked it to this location, and they're hoping that by researching it, discovering it, yes, attacking it and getting in combat with it maybe can help defend themselves against other elder dragon that may awake or may be out there. So that's the inciting event. Next is the map, and I'll take you to the desk and we'll get started on the map, okay? Okay, so here we are at the map, and I've just kind of done a rough pencil. I'm not even sure you can see it right now, but I'm just going to start by using Papermate medium. I think it's a Papermate Flare. Anyways, it's a basic little Papermate that you can get at Walmart or Office Depot. It's a technique I picked up from WSA D20. I really like it because we're going to go and do the coastline right now. And so really I'm just going to start up here and just trying not to add any round popcorny moments, and I'm not going to stick hard and fast to my outline. I'm just going to go in the general shape and just trace and give my hand a nice little, squiggle, harsh lines. Again, I'm not, this is going to be a first draft. But I can definitely, and that's the other thing, is at this scale, like a town's only going to be, a single dot, because I'm not even sure, quite how big this is going to be, really. So we are just going to, and now here is the impact bay that I talked about. So I'm erosion's still going to take place, but I want to try and keep it as smooth and round. There's a canyon going here, so I'm going to I'll go ahead and close it. If it looks weird later on, we will address that in version 2 maybe. But you can see I'm not putting nearly as many peninsulas or bayous or inlets as I did with the first pass up here. So just squiggle lines, There's not really a right or wrong way to do this. And I think that's the other thing, is that why you don't really want to be hard fast with your outline is because you want to be you don't want to be afraid to cut back in on things sometimes, because land and water is not, you know, a pretty symmetrical thing. I do like the idea of it possibly tailing off into some small islands out here. So I think I'm just going to stop there, come back around, and we'll rotate the map. And I think that's the other thing, is don't be afraid to move your map around to where it's comfortable. And we just continue the same thing, just jag it. Jagged lines that, you know, go out and come in, cut back, go out, come back in, and we'll just so I don't know if I'm going to make it an island quite say, so maybe I will, because I do want to have distinct and interesting biomes. So I've got a mountain range that I'm going to be going down the center. So one side will be, you know, forest, lush, jungle-esque. The other, desert, plains, something like that. The north maybe being more polar, cold, and the south, I don't know. We'll see. I think that's one of the weird things with tabletop RPGs, and particularly map making, is that in video games, if we're playing on an open world game, we accept and are okay with, like, sometimes biome or climate shift within, you know, not too far of a distance. We could be walking in a autumn-esque forest 1 minute, and then 5 minutes of real time of walking will suddenly be in a tropical or tropical-esque climate and biome. And I understand, you know, that's part of the game design, and you want, you know, visual representation of a change of location. But I kind of feel like, you know, we could do the same with RPGs, and even, you know, to some extent, you know, the tabletop with making the map. Because with so many of these things, I mean, once you start introducing magic, I mean, the sky is really does become the limit. And I'm just going to go off here. We'll just say maybe it ends up there, maybe it doesn't. So that's the coastline. Now, what I may do now is I think I might come back and, I don't know, it depends on the style. I'm going to stop with the bold line right there, and now I'm going to pick out one of my micron pins. Is this the 0.5? No. I'm trying to look for my small micron, my itty bitty micron, because that's going to help sell the scale. And it's probably going to be the last one to pick out. Yeah, it is. So now I'm going to use 0.5 micron. I'm going to go through and I almost forgot these small islands over here. So let's do those real quick. I just have them as circles, so we're not going to make them circles. We're going to make them kind of interesting. I want this one to be bigger, possibly substantial enough to have a mountain on it. And then this one is a bit smaller. Like that. All right. So now we have our coastline. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and do the actual water. And there's a couple of methods to do it that I've seen, and I'm still kind of torn between which method, and I'll show you. Make a noise. So first method is, so here's your coastline. First method is to just kind of draw broken dashes, you know, long, short, long, so forth. And I mean, this is like the more traditional one, and I certainly don't mind it. So, I mean, I don't know. Might be something I do. Another one that I've been practicing, and one that I think will look nice, particularly if we go in and color it, is you actually kind of go in and you make the waves. So, you know, the waves are going to come in and I mean it's still broken up. So you do one pass and then you do another pass, kind of a little bit longer lines. Or just again break it up. I don't know. I think I like this. I think we'll go with this. We'll try this one. So move that, bring this back. So these are going to be, again, at the scale that would be working at. These are going to be kind of, you know, very big waves, quote unquote. But I'm only going to like, I'm going to send them out some so they're not right jutting into, because again, we just need something to distinguish. This is the coast. This is water. And again, I'm not even going up into some of these inlets all the way. Just, again, phone's ringing. We're going to ignore it. So we're just going to keep it on. Come back around. I don't know about that little part. That's going to be kind of weird. And again, I think this is one where if I had like an electronic method, it might turn out a lot better, because I could zoom in and make these really fine but really long wave marks, but we'll make do with what we got. see how it, again, we just need, because again, once everything else gets on the map, I would imagine it's probably going to, you know, just be one of those blends in, part of the visual noise, so to say. But good visual noise. So, and I mean, probably one of the aspects like WSD20 would do is he'd come back and like thicken the lines on some of the like the south edges of parts of these inlets. I don't really think I'm going to do that because I think it just with some of the methods I want to try, I don't think it's really going to look well, but again, I don't know. And again, I'm trying to make these squiggly, but it's a fine, very fine tip, so you have to really kind of exaggerate the and I think I'm hitting the groove now. Kind of, yeah. I tried something over here, not really sure I like that, but so we'll go back to what we were doing. So need to make sure to pull it out so you can actually see the lines. And they don't get, you know, blended into the coastline too much. Dashes here, dashes there. Pick up some speed. There we go. It's that side. I think I can recover that area. That's not too bad. So all right, let's go this part. I think Fantastic Maps calls this, like, you know, broken lines, broken dashes, dashed lines. And this is kind of the coast. That's the coastal thing I'm trying to represent is his style with the, I would say, the more natural wave look to it. Again, I think it'll turn out better if once I apply some color to it. So we shall see, we shall see. I'm not going to actually like hand color this because I really don't have any of the materials to do that. So I will leave it black and white grayscale so I can scan it in. We'll just do that right there. So that way I can scan it in, and then I can try and color it in using GIMP, which that should work out pretty well. Here, get out, get out, get out. I don't want to get too close to, like I said, I feel like I keep getting too close to the coastline. All right, so now we go back again. Let me do these. It's going to be kind of interesting right down there, but... And see, with I think the other thing, a benefit with trying to do this digitally is with a drawing pad is I can set the sensitivity to a drawing pad. So not only could I zoom in really tight and get these little lines at the coast a little bit better, I can set the sensitivity to the pad to where they would appear light as well. So the strokes wouldn't be as strong. I can try and attempt to recreate something similar by not putting as much pressure on the pen, which might help give me some a better broken line. So now we go back and we make another round just as far, almost as close. So again, this is to kind of represent and show the waves crashing in onto the shore. And these can be a little bit longer, not as broken up, because these aren't the breakers. These are the actual like waves. And we don't have to really kind of go far into that inlet. We just come back around. Add a little bit more space between them. And just keep going, keep going. And add a little bit of adding a little bit of a curve to them, to, you know. So. Come back this way. And again, they're just kind of squiggly. Squiggly, 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 long squiggly. Go back around here. Do. Let's see, I've taken out some of the art, some of the curve on some of them just to kind of add a bit of variety. So. And there we have the coastline. So I think I'll stop it here, or actually no, I'm going to put in the mountain range and then I will stop there. The next thing that we'll do, or I'll add a little bit more to the map this evening, because the next part would be to put in some settlements where we know people will be located. So anyways, that's it for this part of the episode. I'll be back with a little bit more of the map done up, and we can discuss a little bit more then. Okay guys, so we are back, and this is what I've managed to do of the map so far. This is sadly about an hour and a half of work. So I probably actually won't go much past this on film, just for the sake of keeping these challenges on time and everything. So, but I will be sure to try and put out updates and work in progress on it, particularly once I get this version done, but as I improve it and everything. So if you want to keep track of that and just kind of see how my maps, how this comes along, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Those are really great for, just still images and works in progress. So if you want to keep track of that, go for it. But so far, as I've imagined, we have like quasi-dense jungle here, jungle-esque or something. Then as it comes up to the mountains, I had this vision that there was this swath of rolling hills, prairie type, up above this great plateau, so to say. But to kind of show a difference in biomes too, I throw in some evergreen type forests. So you've got your clumpy jungle forest down here, and you've got your kind of evergreen up here. And to just kind of show you how I do that, particularly with the evergreens, it's pretty simple. Instead of making circle motions, I just do peaks and everything. So just kind of doing right here. And because of the scale and everything, you don't really need to be uber precise about it. Because again, you're wanting to give the impression of trees and forest. So I guess the only thing is you want to make sure that the lines are constantly going up. And then to kind of fill out the forest, I'll throw in a couple add-ons just kind of inside. And that's kind of how I do evergreen forests so far. I'll look into kind of like improving it later on. And then with the jungle-esque area, again, it's just your kind of fluffy clouds, and then I just kind of make sure to add fluff to them. Of course, always trying to go in a particular uniformed direction. And I'm just adding stuff, adding some, and then what I like to do is kind of go to a border just to kind of show that it's growing. And so forth. So that's that. And then as with my mountains, I didn't finish a mountain down here, but it's the same kind of principle. I do a hard zigzag. The sharper the zigzag, the better your peaks are going to be. And then I just do broken jagged lines coming down. And that kind of represents and builds your peaks. And so the steeper and higher your peaks, or the actual points, the sharper the mountains will appear. And you just adding little dots almost at this scale. And I think that's where that is a challenge I'm having right now, is making sure to kind of get my scale correct, because I'm not really, I feel the mountains are too small almost. So anyways, that's the map, and we will kind of move out for the outro. There you have it, guys. The end of day 5 challenge. I know that this will be coming out on the 6th, so we'll be a day behind. But I'm going to try and not let that happen anymore. I invested too much time into the map making. If I do this again, I will be sure to make the map ahead of time. So anyways, hope you enjoyed, guys. As always, here are some videos I hope you enjoy. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications so you know when we post again. And I'll see y'all next time.